All right, who am I speaking with?
Hi, I'm Dan Pryor, Vice President of Corporate Communications for Safeway.
And Dan, Safeway is doing a phenomenal amount of video, and you're distributing in tons and tons of locations. But as you explained, it didn't start that extensively. So explain how you started and what was the problem you were solving in the beginning.
So we didn't start with a huge infrastructure. We basically started with a camera, microphone, small interval switcher, and then one streaming encoder. And the big challenge that we were trying to create or solve was really to be able to get to 1,800 store locations across over 30 states. We need to be able to communicate to those 185,000 employees on particular initiatives and things that we need to get kicked off for the company.
And so you were able to do that at stage one, yes?
At stage one, we were. We actually went initially via satellite to televisions, and were able to get that message out to all of those employees through cycling of doing live programs over and over and over again. Eventually, we were able then to add the on-demand capability so that we weren't so time zone constrained, because what we kind of found being shifted over 6 time zones, there was never a really good time to do that broadcast, and we'd end up just rebroadcasting it multiple times.
So okay. So the first thing was to make it on demand, so anybody could watch it whenever. When shift, you had to be somewhere at 3 o'clock at one day, or 2 in the morning, depending on where you are. But so, what were some of the other issues that you were solving with, I guess, the next models of your production and distribution?
So I think some of the next models that we were really trying to solve was then getting to the desktop. So our televisions were typically in a break room, an open area, meant for all employees to see. But there were certain messages that we really wanted just for the management group. And for those, we wanted to be able to secure that message and get it just to certain people on the desktop.
Okay, and then are there other issues that you were solving along the line?
Well, I think some of the other issues that we were really trying to solve is trying to create training real time and be able to accelerate how the business got initiatives done.
Okay, and I also you do multiple levels of production from very high end things that are extremely expensive to super duper cheap flip cam type production. What started first and what came in last?
So we really started out with more higher end production, what I call a script to screen production, a full video crew going out to a store, shooting, coming back, editing, and then we would distribute it. We then moved to more of a broadcast model where people could come in, sit down in a studio. It's pretty much a head and PowerPoint presentation going back and forth, and at a lower cost. And now we've really moved into user-generated content where we really want our employees out there creating this content, doing a voiceover under it, and capturing that knowledge that they have of how to do some of these processes out in our stores and plants and corporate facilities.
That was probably the thing that I was most intrigued by was the essentially the Safeway how-to videos. How many of them do you have, and how do people go about finding them?
Yeah, so all of the video, our how-to videos, our user-generated content are housed in our video exchange. We're just ramping that up, so there's not a huge number of them at this point. We have some templates built to kind of show people how to produce it and how to do these pieces, as well as a workflow to make sure that the quality is there. But we really see that as how we're going to capture the knowledge of the organization. And the idea really came from a commercial application of Howcast. If you've everybody seen Howcast, really being able to create a short piece of information on how to do something that people can consume and go and actually use it.